This just in. New England Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs was caught at CVS buying Pepto-Bismol, forcing many to question if he indeed has a pink substance abuse problem or is dealing with a case of nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and or diarrhea. More after this. In Mr. Diggs' defense, I feel like most of us would struggle in triple coverage. Welcome to Fantasy Weekly. I'm Joe Daley. Let's get to the news. Leading us off tonight, after much anticipation and dragged out look-at-me antics, quarterback Aaron Rodgers has agreed to a deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers and will be throwing to DK Metcalf in 2025. Now, how will this work out for fantasy purposes? DK. IDK. In other Aaron Rodgers news, the 41-year-old signal caller revealed during a recent appearance on the Pat McAfee show that he's, quote, pretty sure 2025 will be his final season. With that said, this very well could be the last year to ignore him in fantasy drafts. Stay tuned. Staying in Pittsburgh, the Steelers and Dolphins agreed to a trade this week, sending tight end Jonnu Smith, cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Black and Gold in exchange for safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th-round pick. Smith will get a one-year contract extension worth $12 million, and with two viable tight ends now in Pittsburgh in both Smith and Pat Freiermuth, the fantasy world loses two viable tight ends. Awesome. Just great. Despite a report by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler suggesting that Travis Kelce had lost 25 pounds since the end of last season, the 35-year-old tight end revealed, though, not that much. He did shed some weight this offseason that may have been holding him back in 2024. And with that said, we are saddened to hear of his breakup with pop star Taylor Swift, and we do wish her the best. We're really hoping she can land on her feet. Now, to be clear, just kidding on that one. I'd hate to be on this guy's bad side. They won that game. J.K. Dobbins recently signed a one-year deal with the Denver Broncos worth just over $5 million, throwing water on the flames of fantasy hype surrounding rookie running back R.J. Harvey heading into the 2025 campaign. Fantasy managers haven't seen a Harvey caught this off guard since, well, this.
Name something you might have strapped to you, Zach.
A dildo.
The NFL announced that Justin Tucker, former kicker of the Baltimore Ravens, will be suspended for the first 10 games of the 2025 season for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Fantasy managers can safely leave Tucker off their kicker rankings this draft season, as a hefty suspension, horrible allegations, and a decline in performance could spell the end for the 35-year-old. Not exactly a happy ending to an otherwise historic career. In a follow-up from last season, let's look back to a story from 2024. In a story first reported on last October, longtime fantasy manager Doug Hurley turned in a victory in his home league with his buddies from college. With the win came a loss, however, as his wife Christina informed him that they were, quote, done, and she was tired of his focus on what she called a silly little fantasy game. The victory brought his win-loss record to a modest 2-4, and when reached for comment at the time, Doug simply said, "Woo, I ain't dead yet." In an update, Mr. Hurley went on to win just one more game last season, ultimately finishing dead last in his league. He also hasn't spoken to his now ex-wife since January. And now it's time for the last word. With the fantasy football season fast approaching, I want to take this time to urge you to check out the podcast Airing It Out with Joe Daley. That's me. The show will be returning soon and is available on all major podcast platforms. Be sure to subscribe. My goal is to make the game easier while providing insightful and data-driven information to get you ready for your drafts and each week of the season. Now, praise for airing it out comes from, well, everywhere, even the White House. When asked what his thoughts were about those not subscribed to airing it out, here's what the president had to say.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Wow. Also, be sure to check out airingitout.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be returning in August as Fantasy Weekly will be, you guessed it, a weekly show. See you then.